Are you ready to take your business to the next level? Every day there are countless books and articles that are published offering the key on how to make your business a success. It's easy to feel overwhelmed trying to keep up and run your business. That's why Deb Creer created the Business Power Hour. Keep up on the latest trends, best practices, and techniques for how to make your business a success. Let the Business Power Hour do the heavy work for you.
Good morning. Good morning. I am Deb Creer, and I am passionate about giving professionals the tools that they need to make themselves and their businesses as successful as possible. And today we have a 2-for-1 deal, and these two are two of my most favorite people in the world. I love these two people. We have been connected virtually for quite a long time, and we have actually met in person a couple of times. And I just love these two folks, and it has been so much fun to follow them through the years, and more importantly, to see how they have changed and adapted, especially to things like AI through the years. So please join me in welcoming the wonderful Gina Carr and Terry Brock back to our program, because they've been guests before. So welcome to both of you. How are you doing?
Well, delighted to be here, and we've followed your work for a number of years and always enjoy seeing you virtually and getting together in person. So we're delighted to be here.
Absolutely. It's an honor to be with you, and we're going to look forward to talking about this AI thingy. Woohoo! It's really going somewhere. So it's
holy schmoly! It is
so fast too.
It is. Yeah, it's fire hose, roller coaster. I'm not sure, what analogy we want to use, but and we'll talk about the good, the bad, the ugly. But before I do, for folks who don't know you, let me tell you a little bit more about you. So are you tired of unpredictable income in your business? Well, Gina Carr, who is a serial entrepreneur, has the solution. With an MBA from, that little place called Harvard, and an engineering degree from that little place called Georgia Tech, this marketing maven is the expert in leveraging artificial intelligence to create stable, recurring revenue streams. Terry Brock works with his clients around the world to help them build their business. He does this by helping with relationship marketing using AI and other tools. He's been a professional speaker for over 41 years. Doesn't say this in the bio, but he started when he was 8. He has earned the prestigious Certified Speaking Professional designation. He has also been inducted into the Speaker Hall of Fame. There's only 5 per year, which includes people like Ronald Reagan, my favorite Bob Burg, and Jim Rohn. Terry has received the National Speakers Association highest award with only 1 per year, the Cavett. Both of these wonderful people make tech solutions doable and fun. So again, welcome back. Well, I always like to start the programs by asking my guests how they got to where they are today, because I think that's very interesting. So Gina, start us off. Tell us how you got to where you are today and really focusing on AI.
Well, it's been an interesting journey. I've done a lot of wonderful things, been introduced to a lot of great people who've helped me in my journey, my entrepreneurial journey. And gosh, let's go back to Georgia Tech days. Right after graduating from Georgia Tech, I started my first little business of note-taking service for Georgia Tech students. So that was my first entrepreneurial venture. And over the years, I worked in real estate and banking. I did go to Harvard to get my MBA. And after that, came back to Atlanta and worked in real estate and mortgage banking as well. Started a Century 21 in Town Lake, Georgia, in Woodstock. And from there, I opened some magazines that I learned a lot about advertising.
Okay.
I was spending a lot of money on advertising. I said, well, why don't I spend the money on advertising with myself? So I started some magazines, and that led to a whole creation of a chain of community magazines, and really sparked my interest in helping small business get the word out about their business. And following selling the magazines, I started helping people do that digitally, social media marketing, as well as now just focused on AI, how AI impacts business and all the amazing things that we can do with AI, which really just makes life easier for content creators, for businesses of all sizes to expand their brand, get their message out into the world.
Right. I love it. I love it. Well, Terry, what made you decide that you're going to focus on AI?
Well, we follow the trends. We watch what people are looking for, what they're using. I've been doing that since I jumped out of Georgia State University with my MBA. Gina, by the way, did not get into Georgia State. She had to settle for Harvard, but that's all right. We still care for her there. Of course, at Georgia State, we called where she went for undergrad the North Avenue Trade School.
Yeah.
So kind of an inside Atlanta thing. But I was always looking at what people are using. And we're seeing a great number of people right now using AI. Leveraging it for practical use. Now, anything that's going to be big is going to have some controversy.
Right.
So there's a little bit there with that. We deal with that. But it's kind of like when electricity came out. Well, were there dangers? Yeah. Was it a problem? Air travel. When it came out, people have died in air travel. But it still today is the safest form of transportation.
Even when planes roll.
Yeah, when they roll. Yeah, we've heard that happen still. But we've got to follow certain rules of physics. Yes, there's laws in the land that people put. Those are good, but laws of physics matter even more. And so when we look at AI, it's helping people to solve problems faster, easier, cheaper. When I went to business school, they told us those were good things.
Right.
And so we want to make sure that we're doing it. So for me, it's a continual learning procedure. Always learning new, and I'll be happy to share with you some of the new tools that are out there that are really helping entrepreneurs today as never before. If you know how to deploy those, how to get the right results with it, it's literally a game changer and a life changer when you do it right.
Right. You know, and we've been talking this entire month with some fabulous people about AI. And of course, one of the things that we've talked about is this didn't just start 4-ish years ago when ChatGPT really, launched into the world. And they did that a couple of years ago. We've been using AI for many, many years. Anybody who, got into their car and told their GPS, take me somewhere, or even did Google searches, or like Amazon, right? When you buy a product and then the next time it suggests similar products. I mean, that's all AI. But now it has become so much more sophisticated, and available. I think probably is the other thing is it is, anybody can use it, and I think part of what, we have heard the people are going to lose their jobs. Well, you know what? We heard that when they the Industrial Revolution started. We heard that when they developed a computer, right? I learned how to type on a typewriter. I never touched a computer till I was in college. But all along, and then of course, Al Gore invented the internet. Every time we hear all of those things, people are concerned. Should they be concerned? Yes. But the opportunities that it opens up are so much bigger. So for both of you, when you hear the gloom and doom, it's going to cost everybody jobs conversation, how do you respond to that?
Well, what I've seen businesses doing is they're not letting people go. They are using the fact that the existing people can be more productive.
Yes.
And they've been able to be creative and focus on ways to bring in more sales. They've actually been hiring more people in a number of circumstances. So I think because the businesses are able to be more efficient and make more money, they're going to bring in more people because they can also make more money.
Right. So Terry, when the gloomy doomies talk to you, what do you tell them?
Well, first I'll understand where they're coming from. It is a concern when someone says, hey, I'm going to lose my job because of this change or that. I mean, before we were recording, you were talking about a friend of yours that's losing her job that she's had for many years now because of changes that are going on. So we have to learn this is normal. But I look back and I think, okay, think about Our friends who give us food, the farmers who we love and adore, really good. I've had an opportunity and a privilege to work with many farmers in this as a speaker. But think about it, years ago, roll it back 2 or 3, 4 centuries, the way that farmers worked, they learned how to saddle up and corral oxen or donkeys or bulls or whatever, and they would put them out in front so they could till the fields. That was important. You have to till the fields, I understand, or you don't do as well. Well, today we don't do a lot of that. We have machines doing it. We could say, oh no, people have lost jobs doing the plowing because they were real good with the animals and they knew how to do that. Yeah, farmers are not doing that very much, if at all, today. I would contend we're better off, though. The farmers
and somebody needs to drive that equipment.
Yeah, the farmers are able to do it better. They're less danger, etc. And with flying, again, I'll go back to that. Yes, flying had its dangers. It still does today. We know that. So that means we use our brains. And we don't just say, okay, because it can take a job away from someone, we're not going to have it here. We got to stop using it. Just a little while ago, a couple of years ago, people were saying we need to have a ban on no more advances on AI. And we need to do that worldwide. We need a law to say that. I go, really? Really, you want to do that? Okay, let's say you pass that law. Do you think the folks in China are going to pay attention?
That's
or
unenforceable.
Russia, or in Korea,
or the kid in his basement.
Yeah, are they going to say, oh golly, the Americans passed a law, said we can't do it. I guess we have to stop as well.
Right.
No, that's not going to work that way. You got to live in the real world.
Right. And of course, what they were going to do is, continue to develop it and then pass us. And once that genie was out of that bottle, the genie was out of the bottle. There was the bottle was broken, it was shattered, all of those things. And so it's, it kind of get on the train or get run over almost type of philosophy. And, it's a little spooky. It was funny. I was talking with somebody earlier today, and we were talking about Chat GPT and the fact that when you treat it politely, and tell it, please, tell it, thank you, right? All of those things that you're thinking, but this is a computer program, you get different responses. It is very strange. I mean, and are they learning? Yes. And I'm like, I know people who have ongoing conversations with various AI platforms. I mentioned to you, and I will have this young man on my podcast in a couple of weeks. He is 15 years old. He goes to an AI and technology focused school in Pakistan. And he talks about using the Chat GPT app just to have conversations. Now, that's good, that's bad, because this young man also said he knows that he cannot and should never stop having real conversations and real interactions with real people, which is good, because I think that is one of the fears that people have, is we're going to go into our little caves and, only talk to Hal, the computer. But, it is a little scary to think, hey, you're just having conversations with these AI programs, but that's how it gets to know you. That's how, you get these answers and information. And I just love that this is kind of the next evolutionary step in this process.
Yeah. I have conversations with my chat, and it helps me with so many things, personally as well as professionally. And to the point of, it responds better when you're polite to it. The other day I was asking it to help me write a conversation to an ailing friend. I just wanted to tell this friend how much I appreciated what they had done for me and such. So at the end I said, that's great, thanks. I said, you're very welcome. I'm glad it resonates. Wishing you strength and peace during this time. My Chat GPT is wishing me strength and peace during this time. I really didn't know if that was cool or creepy.
It's a little of both, I'll be honest. But the nice thing is it responded appropriately. It didn't say, have an absolutely fabulous day.
Very good point.
Yeah, I think it's good. Matter of fact, another thing, Ted, is very interesting. I'm working on a language study right now, working on Spanish, trying to learn that and doing well. And I would go to ChatGPT and Perplexity and say, how do you say, here's the phrase, in Spanish? and it comes back and tells me, and then I try it, and it will come back and say, that was good on this right here, but let's work on that last word. That word is such and such. Say it this way. And I'd have to try it a few different times as if it were a real human being helping me on this. And I think that's great. Think about it. Talk to your friend, the 15-year-old over in Pakistan. They're speaking a different language, but they need to learn other languages like we need to learn other languages. Nice to have a being that maybe sentient being, could be someday, AI, being able to help us back and forth understand, how do we speak better? How do we articulate better?
Right. And he had mentioned, this young man mentioned that he can now speak in his native language to Chat GPT. And he said that's actually fairly new. But that's an incredible type of thing. But then he can also tell it, please respond in English, or, whatever it is. I remember years ago, we went to Italy, and our waitress spoke English in this itty bitty little town. And she spoke English clearly as a very second language. But we asked her, how did you learn to speak English? And she said, I watched Dr. House on TV. And we thought, not quite sure that was the best one. But yeah, now we can, and we've had some of this ability before, but now it's just incredible what it does.
It definitely is. And yes, I hear Terry talking. He speaks a little Russian, Spanish, Japanese, and of course English. And I think I'm missing one there. But he's constantly talking to his Chat GPT, his devices in different languages. And so I find it amusing and entertaining. And I'm trying it a little bit myself. So it's really great.
Right. And if you are in business and unless you are a brick and mortar, you could conceivably be doing business around the world. So to be able to communicate with someone, at least initially, even if you're just saying, hello, how are you? How's your day going? In their native tongue, that's, to me, for one thing, that's showing that you respect them. You're not expecting that they speak English. Now they, very well might speak English, but yeah, just to show them that respect, to be able to ask them how their day is going.
Yeah, that's going to be very important. And not only that, one of the biggest things happening right now in AI is reasoning. Yes, reasoning. So you're thinking something through, and you can see it on the screen, that you see it giving the right questions and saying, let's think about this, or how would we answer that way? And I found it really interesting. Deb, one of the really nice things we can do is we could say, here's a controversial issue. We've just come through an election here in the US, lots of issues like that. Think of the most controversial thing you can think of. You've got people on this side of it, you've got people on that side. Like anyone, I've got my own opinions, philosophy, and ideas, but I would say, okay, here's the issue. On this controversial topic, I believe this and this. Tell me what people on the other side believe and why. And then he would tell me this, he being the voice of ChatGPT. And I'd say, yeah, but what about this, this, and this? How would they respond to that? And it comes back and lets me know. I'm getting to know the other side's point of view.
And not being yelled at.
Understanding. Exactly. Pull out the yelling and the screaming and the name calling and all that. It's just, here's the issue. I believe this and this because of these reasons. Here's the evidence. Yeah. I want to hear what their point of view is. Why do they believe this?
Right.
And I think if we can do that, maybe humans will be able to be helped enormously by AI, that AI could help us to be better humans. How about that?
Right. So how about, can you use that from a business perspective? So, hey, I've been thinking about developing this product. Talk us through that entire process. Well, actually, probably not the entire process, because we'd be here for hours and maybe even days. But, so for example, I am starting a cancer coaching business and have discovered there's really not a lot. So, hey, this is kind of cool. But I've been using it to help me develop my marketing messages. So let's talk about how a business person can do that, because I have been astounded at the content that it has created. So, let's talk a little bit more about that. How can this really help us in the business world?
Well, I would say if you think about beginning with why you're doing this business, who you're serving
Mm-hmm.
and the problem that you're solving.
Mm-hmm.
Your chatbot can be a great brainstorming tool
Mm-hmm.
for you. So you could say, I'm thinking about
Mm-hmm.
this. What other questions
Mm-hmm.
or what questions should I be asking myself? What else should I be thinking about?
Mm-hmm.
It'll give you a long
Mm-hmm.
laundry list of things that you
Mm-hmm.
should be thinking about
Mm-hmm.
and asking about.
Mm-hmm.
And you can ask it to help you determine what might be the market or what would
Mm-hmm.
be a good demographic. And again, it's customized based on you. It's
Mm-hmm.
very similar to having a marketing consultant
Right.
that would first interview
Mm-hmm.
you and know about you, and you let your tool, your
Mm-hmm.
AI tool, know about you because you feed it information. You feed it your LinkedIn
Mm-hmm.
profile and your website
Mm-hmm.
and your about and all those sorts of things so that it knows more about you.
Mm-hmm.
And then and you ask it along the way, customize this and
Mm-hmm.
what target demographic or what should be my customer avatar. And then what's keeping them awake at night?
Mm-hmm.
What would they be likely to
Mm-hmm.
spend money on?
Mm-hmm.
Where are they spending time digitally
Mm-hmm.
in that, so that I could
Mm-hmm.
figure out where should I advertise? So not just where are they spending time, but where
Mm-hmm.
would be good places to advertise?
Mm-hmm.
Where are good places to reach these
Mm-hmm.
people? What do you recommend as my
Mm-hmm.
marketing plan for rolling
Mm-hmm.
this out? You can ask it everything, all the way down to the agenda for a webinar that you
Mm-hmm.
might do.
Mm-hmm.
So I break it down into 5 keys. Research, you're going to do the research.
Okay.
You're going to create materials.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to publish those materials,
Mm-hmm.
amplify them across different channels, and then you're going to analyze how that worked. And you can use AI every step along the way. There are different tools that help with that. So there's a lot of ways that AI can be used to help you launch this new business,
Right.
and or relaunch an existing business.
Right. Yeah. One of the things I did was, I did a Google search and I found under 10, which that was kind of good, under 10 websites of people who say they're cancer coaches. So I put those into the AI and I actually put it into several different programs because I like comparing them, right? And they're going to come up with different answers. So I kind of like doing that. But I said, here is what I would consider to be my competitors. Please analyze their content. And I love that because it gave me bullet points. Here's what they say they do. Here's the fees they charge. I could easily do that myself. I mean, I actually, I'm going to take out that easily word. I could do that myself, but it could take hours. And it took the various AI platforms like 30 seconds, and which I was, and then when I started developing my marketing materials, I said, compare it to those. Am I missing something? What do I need to say to stand out from them? And again, I was astounded at what I got.
Yeah, it's amazing what we can see there. And one of the really nice things is in the past in marketing, marketers would often say, well, I think the market wants this, or my gut tells me that. Well, with all due respect, your gut can be wrong because you're looking at what is there. But what we can do now is we can have it to act as an expert in this topic, or act as a team of experts in this topic and tell me, what are people saying today on Reddit, on X, on Facebook?
Okay, I haven't done that
They like or didn't like. And that's where using Grok, G-R-O-K, Grok, could be really helpful. It's part of the platform X, formerly Twitter. And it's right there. And you're going to find information that's not available elsewhere. And there's some people saying they don't want to use X. Good, because then we get that information. But people are going to say, I like this, or I don't like this. And so you can have it condense it. What are most people saying? Or what do we see a lot of people saying about this topic that they like or that they don't like? So now, rather than just seeing one tweet or one post and go, oh, this must be the way we got to do our whole marketing budget now. Wait, it'd be better to look at hundreds of thousands, millions of other data points and let the AI tell us this is the direction we're going. And for the next 4 to 6 months is what they're going to do. Matter of fact, Deb, one of the things I did recently as a professional speaker, I was speaking to some of the top people in the country and in the world in the deli and bakery, bagel business, those kind of shops. And so what I did is I went out and found out what are customers of these types of restaurants, these delicatessens, what are they looking for and leaning toward now more than ever for the next 6 months? And we saw it's saying they're buying more of this kind of food. They don't want this as much. They want that. I compiled all of that, put it together in a report in a Google Doc, and then just shared it with the audience. So now they've got a good roadmap for the next 6 months, what to buy, what not to buy, what kind of offers they can make, knowing that there's many millions of people that are looking for that. And now this is what they're going to have at the bagel shop when people walk in and go, oh, I was thinking about one of those and you've got those today. Yes, they're on sale right now. Would you care for some? And that way everybody wins all the way around.
I love that. You know, and it is, again, we could be doing all this ourselves or hiring people to do it. But, you know, the fact that it can do it so quickly is, and then we're able to proceed more quickly and make decisions and all of those things. You know, as Gina mentioned, you know, companies are able to create things that maybe they didn't even think they were going to create, or, you know, tweak things. You know, before we had to rely on market data, and which was always at least a quarter behind. Sometimes it was an annual type of thing, right? And so we were always playing catch up. And now what this is allowing us to do is to get into the market first.
Yeah, absolutely. This is making it possible for us to launch programs that we never even thought of, and the programs that we thought of to launch them faster and to bring them to market. And as AI agents are becoming more popular and people will be using those much more easily, that's going to really help as well. And just a simple example of how an AI agent might work is, let's say right now that you were planning a trip to South Dakota.
Okay.
I've not yet been to South Dakota, but let's say that I was going
to it's cold.
I could ask my chat. Yes, I could ask my chat tool to help me plan that trip. You know, what hotels does it recommend? What places does it recommend that I stay? Restaurants, all of those things. Possible, what might be the price range of airfare or those sorts of options. Well, AI agent, I'll be able to say, book it. Book the airfare, book the restaurants, book the hotels based on the criteria that I've given it previously, that my criteria of my preferences. Much like travel agents, they still exist. They're just not as much these days. But travel agents of old used to have all that information. You know, does Gina want an aisle seat or does he? Well, I just have all that programmed in, and I tell my AI agent to book it. And Terry, I know you've been researching AI agents a good bit as well. Anything you want to add on that? Because that's going to make our lives just turn around, especially as business owners.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, absolutely. The AI agents are really the big thrust of this year of where things are changing, because it's getting the answers that you need and doing it for you. Go back to the travel industry. One of the things we can do is we can find out what to do, where to go. Oh, by the way, we know that you like Japanese food. Well, where you're going here, there are 3 Japanese restaurants. Here's what they look like. And would you like to see what they look like? Here we are. We can do that. And when you couple that with augmented reality and virtual reality, so we could put on the helmets and we can then actually literally see what that hotel that I might be going to in Paris is like. Or what does it look like if I walk out the door and I look down the street? Oh, what is that over there? And it can tell me. So it's like I'm getting all of this done that a human being could do that. It would be very expensive to get a human being to do it. Now we can get AI to do it for, well, nothing. Once it's all programmed.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful thing. I think it's going to make lives better for human beings.
Right. You know, and at least for now, you know, sometimes the programs hallucinate. We love it, you know, when, you know, and obviously if it's something critical, double check your data, right?
Yes.
You know, we were in San Francisco a couple of weeks ago and decided to go back to the airport the night before because our flight was at 5 a.m. So, you know, I put into Chat GPT, we need a hotel near SFO, and it knew what SFO was. That was the San Francisco airport. And so we need a hotel that has a shuttle back and forth because, we were going to go turn the car in, take the shuttle, then take the shuttle back in the morning. And it gave 3, I think, options. And it said, please double check the websites, right? Because those things, and so we did. But the first one they suggested was the one that I went with. I did call them because websites aren't always accurate, especially with something like a shuttle at 5 a.m., right? And so I called them to make sure. But that entire process took me 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. Otherwise I could have gone to TripAdvisor, all these various things and spent a long time. I spent 10 minutes and got an absolutely wonderful hotel that had a very cool bar. And we went and hung out and, had a really nice time, took the shuttle at 5 a.m. And, that was great. I think that's one of the things that people are really embracing AI for. My neighbors were talking about the fact that, they're considering retiring in 5-ish years and moving from Atlanta. So they're using ChatGPT to suggest places to move to. And they're listing all the criteria that they want, including population, healthcare. I mean, the things that are so important. And then they are having it suggest where should we stay if we go to look. So it's exactly like Gina was saying, and they, again, could we do that ourselves? Sure. Hours and hours worth of work that just took 10 minutes.
Yeah, and Deb, one of the really nice things that came out just within the last couple of weeks, we're seeing several features now of deep research. That's the key term. We're seeing that on different platforms. This is research that is at a PhD level.
Right. And more current.
Yeah, very current. And what we're finding is we're used to typing in something on Google or ChatGPT, Perplexity, and it gives it to us real fast. This can take 10 to 15 minutes, which seems like a long time, but really, come on, 10 to 15 minutes, which for a PhD would take months.
Right. Go get a cup of coffee.
Now you're getting really in-depth research on that place that you might want to live for retirement. Now your friends who are going to be retiring, considering leaving Atlanta, where would they go? Well, you just feed in all kinds of information of this is important to us. We like this, and we really want to avoid this. Okay. Make it very comprehensive, and then just give us a complete up-to-date list of what's going on with that. And then you get literally pages, 20, 30 pages that'll be really replete with information of what you want to know.
Well, and they even included things like liberal versus conservative, outdoor activities. I mean, all those things that are very important. And, again, it's, and they keep going back and updating it as they think, oh, what about?
Let me share, there is a website that uses AI to help you filter all of these things. Ooh. It's called theearthawaits.com. It's absolutely amazing. It lets you put in all kinds of factors, pricing and security, safety, attitudes about discrimination and all kinds of things. So it really was great. And I put in my criteria. It came up with one place in the world, which fortunately that was I had never heard of it before. Isn't that interesting? It was amazing.
Right. I love it. I love it. Well, one of the things that we have mentioned is that everything is rapidly evolving. So what are some of the new tools, especially from a business perspective, because we love ChatGPT, and at least for now, they're going to be the big dog on the block. That can change, right? And who knows, but it's the specific and individual type of programs that I think are very interesting. So from both of you, what are some of the new trends and new programs that are coming out that, are something people really need to be investigating?
Oh, there's a lot of them out there. And the geek in me is going, yes, I want to hear these. They're so good.
See, and I'm like, squirrel, squirrel, squirrel. And then my brain goes.
Exactly. But when I went to business school, they told us there was an important thing called profit. and you got to, get sales up and all that. So
Right.
all that stuff is really cool, Terry. Yeah, I get
Yeah.
it. You got to focus on that. And one of the things that's helping me just within the last week or so, I've been embracing it now, is a tool called Gamma, and GAMMA.
Right. Yes.
Are you using it?
I've signed up for it, and that was as far as I got.
Because that has changed a lot for me, and then I couple that with deep research. So what I would do is I went over and I did a study. So tell me what's going on in the area of, for instance, repurposing. How many content creators are taking an audio or a video and then getting clips of that, or making it useful in many different areas. There's a whole study on that. So I went over, got about 20, 30 pages worth of information and fed that into Gamma, and Gamma created number of slides that I asked. I wanted 40 slides for a PowerPoint presentation. It gave it to me right there. And I went in and I would customize it to me, pulling out things that I didn't think were as appropriate, adding some additional material that I thought was good, putting in different graphics. It created AI graphics for me that I could use. The whole presentation done like that, so that then I could use that for our Stark Raving Entrepreneurs program just this last week, 2 days ago. Got a chance to deliver that, and then turned it into a YouTube video that was released about, I'm looking at the clock here, an hour and a half ago. So hour and a half ago, it's now released out to the world that I can use, and I get to go in depth on something that's very important. And I'm using the latest research, deep research. That's a key phrase, deep research.
Right.
Finding out what's really going on out there. And then as that changes, we can always be up to date on it. Deb, I think we picked a good time to be born, because it's really good being around right now.
I know, and it is, it is a little bit scary, but I think it is just so cool. And I'm one of those people that I've always loved technology, and so this is so much fun. But Gina, what do you see? What are some of the things that you're really thinking, oh my gosh, this is so exciting?
Well, one of them is the combination of using a combination of tools. So I get really excited about what we can do with images and graphics these days. Now, using ChatGPT, at least the paid version, you have access to a program called DALL-E 3.
Right. And it's
well, and why would you say it's
So I put something, I wanted it to create a wheel of life, which is actually a fairly common coaching type of thing. And I told it the categories that I wanted, because I am a student of all of this. And I know that the more information I give it, the better the results will be. Right. And, and I gave a pretty detailed description. It was close. It still can't spell words right, and I love it when it can't spell words right. Even if you tell it the word is spelled, it somehow gets very confused. But it gave me at least a big enough idea that then I could go create my own. But so what did I do wrong?
Well, no, that's where technology is today. It's not, it is, that's probably a good description. There are a lot of issues with the spelling and just with its ability.
Six-fingered hands. I love those.
To make a change. Let's say that you have one person and you want that same person, but you want them doing different things. So that's a bit of an issue. But in combination, so what DALL-E might have done, like, as you said, it gave you inspiration. You can now take that image, you can put it into Canva, which is a tool a lot of people are used to using. And in Canva, there's a little feature called text grab. And text grab allows you to grab that errant text that's wrong, the misspelling, and fix it.
I love it.
Yes,
the combination.
Yes, so this is a really fantastic. Actually, let me say grab text. I had that in
okay.
there.
Grab text. Okay.
And that's found in the Magic Studio. So we think of Canva as just this graphics program, but Canva has
Canva is rapidly evolving
integration with all the different apps and the different features that they allow people to create and add on to Canva. So that's really fantastic. So using DALL-E 3, Canva, There's an image program that we love called Ideogram. That's
Yep, I have that. Mm-hmm.
Pixverse is one that I like. That's cool. Adobe Firefly.
Adobe does really pretty well.
Oh, Adobe's doing some beautiful work. And Terry's been experimenting with some of the video also. Terry, you want to share that?
Yeah, I'm looking at the video is doing well. Video and some of the images that I can create that are not allowed on others. To illustrate that, one thing I did just a few weeks ago, right after the election. Of course, we had an election in the United States, very hotly contested and all that. I created a picture that you cannot create on some of the others. I went over to Grok. Grok allows it. And I created a picture of Donald Trump enjoying a nice time with Kamala Harris, which are both seated and drinking some Coca-Cola and smiling at each other. And the picture that it gave me looked like it was a photograph.
Wow.
Like you didn't know better when I go, okay, this is not a real picture. It's AI. Duh. As if they would sit down after the election and do that. But, so again, that's not political. This was just saying, look what this would do. And then I had another graph that it created with Barack Obama, Joe Biden, and Donald Trump enjoying some beers, smiling and toasting each other at a bar. I have to say, that did not happen in the real world, okay? We put it there, but it looks like it. And when competitors that I have will say, I'm not going to use this platform of Grok for whatever reason, fine, good. We'll get a chance to use that and we can get the kind of images. Just yesterday, Deb, I have a program that I send out every Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, talking about what's going on. I was talking about the concerns that people have.
I get that.
The hallucination and the threat. So I had Grok create a picture for me of a middle-aged woman who is fearful and a monster with AI printed on its chest was there threatening her, dark skies overhead. It was perfect just for what I needed, because trying to find that before, we couldn't find those kinds of, but it was exact. It created it for me using my words in Grok and looked really good. So I think what you want to do is have a combination. Don't just say, I'm only going to use this one tool, ChatGPT, which I think is a great tool, but I'd also consider Perplexity and Grok and some others that work for you. Now, don't try to add 30,000 of them.
Right.
Not that I would ever try to do too many. No, I've never done that ever before in my life. So just get a few that you can use comfortably. And use those, realizing it's a good idea to go different places. One of the things in journalism, my undergrad degree was radio, TV, newspaper. In journalism, we have a very important rule. You want to have 3 non-corroborating sources where you believe them. If I interviewed a person and she told me this is what it is, and I go out and typed in, okay, this is the truth, the way it really is, based on one person, might not be accurate. But hearing this person and then another one, and they're not corroborating. And then a third one. Now it's a little more reliable. All 3 could still be wrong. But I want to hear what's going on that way. So I would say for my friends that are using AI, don't use just one when it's particularly very important. I would have, ChatGPT, use the reasoning and the research capability. Same thing over with Perplexity. Take a look at that because it's easy to tap other tools. And then look at Grok, which can give you a different perspective. There, Claude is another one. There's new ones coming out all the time. DeepSeek, we discovered just a week or 2 ago from China. But make sure you're using it with Perplexity, because then it's using
Perplexity, puts the security level in there.
The security, because they put servers in the US, Canada, and Europe. That way you're getting the same tools and technology. And by the way, you can test that asking the words that the Chinese government would find they don't want to answer. And if China, they do say, I can't talk about that, literally. But it'll tell us what happened, and we go, that's very interesting.
Right. Well, and I mentioned that cancer coaching, I developed some of the marketing materials in one AI platform, and I thought, this is really cool. Then I cut and pasted word for word and put it into ChatGPT. And I said, please revise. What that came up with was I was dumbfounded at how much better it was. And I was very impressed with the first one and almost went with it. But it's like you said, and to me, it's like asking person A and then asking person B. And then, and then we come up with this amalgorithm. Is that the right word?
Yes,
combination,
that would be very appropriate.
Right?
It's an amalgorithm.
And that's where it really is such a great way to be using this technology. Now, if it's something short, like, hey, I've got this graphic I'm going to post on social media, it says this, what's the text? I'm not going to run that through multiple programs. But yeah, something that is very important to you and or your business, run it through multiple things.
Well, I have a great solution for this issue of
Okay.
comparing different versions. And it's a tool that I keep hearing about in every session I go to these days. Chatplayground.ai.
Ooh.
Now, chatplayground.ai allows you to pull up multiple models and see the responses at once. You can see 4 at once. So it comes up with 1, 2, 3, 4, and you can put in that same question, the same prompt, and it's going to give you. So you can use ChatGPT, you can use Claude Sonnet, you can use Gemini, you can use DeepSeek, and you can see. And it is a paid program, $20 a month. I think they have a freemium version that you can check out, but this is getting a lot of attention, and people are saying, oh, this is the wave of the future, because it's allowing me to make that comparison easily right there on the same tab. I love it.
I love it. Well, oh my gosh, I know that we are up against a time deadline, and I want to be so conscious of your time. I'm thinking I have to do this monthly focus once a year. And even at that, things will have changed. It'll be interesting to see how much things change in a year, because we just see how much things change in a week sometimes, right? And who knows what the future holds. And I think it's going to be very cool. So just plan on this. We'll mark it, we'll save the date, all those things. But because we are up against a time frame, let's start with Gina. Gina, tell us how they find you and what are the services that you provide.
Well, the services we provide are, we help thought leaders and business leaders to monetize their business, to create more recurring revenue, with a big focus on helping them with courses, online programs, and to get their message out into the world so that they can create that predictable profits that they want through whatever the means are with the digital marketing. And the best way to find us is at starkravingentrepreneurs.com. That's our business. And we do have a free guide for folks that want to know what are the latest tools that we're recommending. And it's called AIToolsForBiz.com.
Okay.
So AI tools, the number 4, biz.com. And that's a great way to find out what's the latest tools that we're recommending to our clients and that we're using.
Great.
And so that's a good way.
Right. Well, and like I said, you have a newsletter that I get several times a week that, we would have, a couple of years ago said, oh my gosh, several times a week, that's overkill. No, you have to get it several times a week. Well, Terry, follow up on that.
Well, I would put an exclamation mark behind what Gina just said, because we're doing this together. It's kind of fun. Working with Gina, we're partners. She's my fiance, and we're, as we would say down south, fixing to upgrade that to marriage. Yeah, exactly. Fixing. That's right. But we work together. So starkravingentrepreneurs.com is where we live. We help people, and it's a community more than just here's the latest tools. Which we do that every week. We have a tantalizing tech tip from Terry. Me, I get a chance to talk about something. People look at it and go, whoa, we can really use this in business. But we have a community of people that are helping each other. One of the things we say at Stark Raving Entrepreneurs often is a Japanese phrase that says, none of us is as smart as all of us. And so we realize together in that community, we're able to learn and grow from each other, learn what we do. When we make a mistake or there's an, oh, whoops, that's great. It's called a learning experience.
Right.
And we learn from that and go, okay, what went wrong? What can we do? What's a different way to do that? And some people, it seems like inevitably someone will say, oh, I had that happen to me last week. Here's what I did. And it fixed it. We try that. Yep, there we go. So I would say right now, in the midst of all the AI, it's easy to get frazzled. Don't get frazzled. look at it and realize, hey, you're going to be able to control this. Get the right information, get the right community that works for you, get the right kind of information that's targeted toward what you're doing. If you're a baker and you're working in bakery, yeah, hang around some bakers that are doing this kind of thing. If you're a surgeon, you might want to hang around other surgeons who are doing that, specifically meeting about this. We work with content creators. People are creating the video, the audio, text, they're writing it. So we do that and have all kinds of fun. Matter of fact, we often say we have more fun than the law will allow. And,
I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, I'm sure we will chat between now and whenever. But I will have you both on again. But do you have any final thoughts that you want to leave everyone with? I'll have Gina go first.
Oh my goodness. The final thought is that there's so much opportunity. And if you don't know what the opportunities are, start talking to your chat GPT or whatever tool you're using, and start thinking bigger. Today, because you don't have to hire a whole lot of people to work inside an office or even virtually, you can get a lot of the work done that you used to have to hire people for. You can get so much of that done now through using these tools. And so it's really an amazing world. It's going to open up a lot of opportunity for people to be creative, use their brains, and put a lot of good out into the world to solve a lot of problems.
I love it. Your turn, Terry.
In a world that seems real crazy and busy, whirling faster and faster, I think sometimes we can learn a lot when we look at what does work. For centuries, we have found that when things are going real fast and crazy, best thing to do is step back and be calm and find out where other people are hurting. As you can help them solve their problems, you're going to be able to get your own solved. And today, yes, you want to learn about this new thingy called AI, just like you'd want to learn about electricity when it was being developed, or automobiles when they were coming out. Sure, this is true throughout history. Find out where people are hurting. Learn the tools like AI, what ChatGPT can do for you. That's a good one to get in there and start learning. And a good way to learn it, the University of YouTube, where we all go and start learning that way. Get involved in a community that can help you and that can serve your needs. This is important. Learn those tools, and as they change, and as there's a good new thing just came out, this is really nice, we can use that, put it in there, and learn to help others. The more you can solve their problems and help them, the better off you will be.
I love it. I love it. Well, I am Deb Creer. I've been having so much fun talking with Gina Carr and Terry Brock about AI. And until next time, everyone have a great day.
Tune in for our next program for even more trends, best practices, and techniques for how to make your business a success. The Business Power Hour, hosted by Deb Creer, is proud to be part of the C-Suite Network.